That
Yeah,
is,
exactly.
I'll be there.
It's much faster. Cool. All right. Well, you are listening to NYC Radio Live. David Ellenbogen here. I'm thrilled to welcome back Salar Nader, who's been on the show before, and we're super excited to have Rakesh Chaurasia. Both of these gentlemen are really the foremost on their instruments of their generation. One of the leading tabla players, one of the leading bansuri players, if not the leading of both. And so, yeah, it's real great to talk with you guys. Thanks for finding the
Thank you, David, for having us. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great to see you. Yeah, I play the table really well.
The table, is that what I call it?
The autocorrect always for tabla is table. So.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I sound better on the turntable.
Well, you have a great career ahead of you both.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously the reason that both of you are kind of recognized, and I should mention that Rakesh is a 2-time Grammy Award winning musician. One of the reasons you guys are both recognized is because you both learned from the best of the best, right? Yeah. So I guess that's probably a good place to start any conversation. So when did your Hariprasad Chaurasia, for our audience who they probably know already, but he's the man who brought that bansuri to the world, really.
Right.
Yeah. When and how did your relationship start, Rakesh?
Well, I have grown up with him from my childhood, and whenever he was at home, he used to just practice the whole day, and by default, the sound was getting into my mind, slowly into my system. And thank God that at that time there wasn't any gadget, so there was nothing to do except the dinky cars playing around. Remember, like I must be 4.5 or something. And suddenly I picked up a very small flute and started playing, which is, the instrument flute looks very simple. It seems that you just pick up the bamboo piece and you start playing. But in this instrument, you have to create sound first, then the music. It's not a ready-made sound like a piano or something you hit and the sound is there already. Especially the sideways flute, not the straight, which is like a recorder that it has a mouthpiece. No. The sideways, you have to figure out, it's like creating a sound in a bottle, in a Coke bottle or something, So the mouthpiece and the half of the bottle should be right, where you get one place, you get the right sound.
So, okay, so you're listening to your uncle, just absorbing
yeah,
sound.
yeah. And suddenly I started playing, picking up the instrument, and he said, he heard me and he said, well, if you want to play something, I used to just replicate whatever I used to listen on the radio. He said, if you want to play, you have to learn it properly, so do, re, mi, fa, or C, D, F, sa, re, ga, ma, then started. So the journey started at the age of 5 only, and that was my toy. I used to play with it and used to love the sound, basically.
That it's pretty miraculous, right? Like, as you said, it's not automatic that someone can get a sound. So it's pretty miraculous that you were able to produce a sound without any.
Yeah, it looks very easy, and I can say that this is one of the instrument which you can call it 100% organic, because nothing has been used in this instrument which come from the factory. So it's a natural instrument, just a small piece of bamboo, and it's just closed from one side, and that's it. The major, minor, everything, no keys, nothing. So you have to manage with your fingers.
Yeah. So you're you're super young child, and he Harji recognizes your talent. And then what was the exact first thing he taught you?
C, D, E, F, sa, re, ga, ma, ta, 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 te, ta, ta. This I kept playing the whole day, just to get the right fingering, because at that age it was difficult to know what is right, what is wrong, what is incorrect. So basically keeping no, that play that note again. So slowly by default, the mind, ears, and the system got involved without me knowing anything what is happening.
Mm.
Because I was into it, I liked the sound and I wanted to play. That was the thing.
And so you start getting, so it sounded like he was correcting you maybe on pitch or tone, little tiny things.
Definitely. But
Uh,
at that age, you don't understand anything. What is right, what is wrong. So I just kept playing and he said, let him enjoy. Maybe the time because you need a quite mature brain to understand where to pitch because it's not like a keys, you can just turn the wire and make it tight or loose. You have to adjust under your lips. If
mm,
you get the flute out of your lips, it becomes sharp. If you take it in, it becomes flat. So where exactly to stay was difficult at that age to understand, but I don't know how it happened. It happened, and at that age, you think, oh, wow, he just pick up the flute and he plays. It's so simple instrument. Now I'm struggling it more.
and so uh, he, when was the first time he said, okay, let's learn a raga? When did that
I don't know. It happened with the
just happen?
flow. I just remember that I played my first television concert for 15 minutes when I was 6.5.
Mm,
Wow.
I don't know what I did, what I played, and how I played, but it happened. And the first concert I performed, public concert, was when I was 9. And the major concert in the open ground I played when I was 11. S-
wow.
So I don't know when it happened, how it happened. I think God is kind enough, and my uncles, my gurujis, my teachers' blessing that works. A little bit of practice.
Yes. So by that age, you were already able to like basically execute
Yeah, yeah,
a
no,
classical
yeah,
performance.
yeah.
That's unbelievable. And also,
Because our music is not a written music. That's the
Mhm.
major problem. So whatever he teaches me, nothing has been noted down. Whatever you remember, and then you make your own things and you present. So first to digest it, cook it, and then execute it. So there's a lot of sections where your own thing comes, your input, your thought process, ki how to do this. I know he has given me one phrase, but half I've forgotten it. So how to complete it? So that the time we start learning to do improvisation. And our music is totally improvisation. There are like ragas, like a songs, some few notes, and that's a boundary. Rest is all iCloud. Whatever you can do, what the maximum what you think. So the more you get mature, the more you understand, and then more you want to treat it different way all the time. The same song. That is the idea, basically. Basically, 100% improvisation.
and now fast forward a few decades.
Hmm.
When you sit with Hari G, what kind of advice does he give?
Okay, so fast forward.
I actually go like this.
Yeah. One thing he says, practice. So now I have to come to know that what is practice and what is focus practice. What are you doing practice and how you're going to use that, not only practice. So technically, when we do our personal practice, it's just to create the nice tone, the fingers, how the movement is going, way to take the breath, to complete the phrases, all this technical thing, and then how to use that phrase. If I, while practicing, if I have got some good phrase, how to execute it, way to use it, in which speed you can do it better.
Mm. So from one child prodigy to another, Salar, you're
I oh gosh,
super
I want
early.
to add actually
Yeah,
one
please
thing
go ahead.
about that I've noticed about Rakesh Bhai, and that I pointed out back in September when we performed, was the fact that what he does is it's full-time breath work also. So the cardio, like you have to have really good cardio. Uh, just watching him and the circular breath work and all that is just really incredible. You know, you
No,
have so many
sorry, Salar
people.
bhai, we cannot do the circular breathing.
Mm,
The circle
ah,
breathing can only be done when your mouth is closed, like clarinet, oboe,
Mm.
saxophone. In flute, your lips is open, so you have to hold the really. You have to have a big tank.
Wow.
Mm.
This is incredible.
Sorry,
Well,
carry on.
Harji was a wrestler before he was, right?
My grandfather was a wrestler, so the music came from Hariji.
Mm-hmm. But was it maybe Harji's father was also it was
Yeah,
family of wrestlers?
yeah. My grandfather means his
Oh,
father
both,
was a yeah
right?
wrestler. Yeah, basically by profession, he was a
Yeah.
professional wrestler.
So I mean that certainly helps to have that physicality in order to.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we didn't knew that this is going to work for as a profession also. Because making your internal organ strong, especially the lungs. And I think everybody should play flute. Because. I have not seen any flautists going through COVID.
Interesting.
So it's like a yoga, making
COVID.
your with the breath of playing 2 hours constantly on stage and practicing for hours at home. It makes by default it makes your lungs too strong because the movement of intake breath is like amazing.
Yeah, and of course, when you're controlling your breath, you're controlling your mind, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then the audience too, because you're up on stage and you're controlling your mind, and then
And the music at the same time.
yeah.
So sorry, carry on,
Yes,
Salar. It's
yeah,
your
go ahead.
it's your
Sorry,
turn.
Oh, no, it's an incredible feat, really. Just noticing it from the side, it's just amazing. I have a lot of respect for what goes into what Rakesh Bhai was saying is, if you're playing keys, and this is not to take any attention away from people who play instruments that are pumped or
Right.
electronic or whatever, but it's like he is fully organic and he's got a big tank, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, very few instrumentalists could, if they were dropped into the jungle, no one's going to put together a violin and put together a concert. But a bansuri player could a lot of them make their own instruments and probably could.
And the liking about people about these two instruments, I think the flute and the drums. It can be tabla, it can be any percussion. These are the two when I think was the first instrument to arrive.
Yep.
Because if you see the flute, it is there every corner of the world with different names. Means it's a big family. You can call it flute, you can call it a Hindi bansuri, you can call a silver flute, you can call a penny whistle, you can call a recorder, a shakuhachi, a nail, and what not. Didgeridoo, everything is with the wood and oboe, whatever. So there are lot of instrument with the same make and same with the different sound, and also the playing according to their countryside or whatever. So it attracts people. Oh wow, also have the same instrument, but how the sound is different, how the slides goes, how the mean gamak, what we call in Hindi, and the drums. In the jungle, they used to inform while playing the stick whether something is going wrong or something what has happened. So these are the two instruments which is like very Asian. Lord Krishna had played the instrument. You can believe how old it is.
Yeah, I think I'd have to check, but I believe the oldest instrument ever found was a bone flute, and it could be more than 20,000.
But again, there's the word flute.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But how a bone can be a flute because it needs to be hollow.
There are some hollow bones.
Oh, very weak.
Like birds bones are hollow. Yeah.
Oh, that's why they can fly. And we cannot. Okay.
Well, and we can't afford the
okay,
plane tickets.
you know what? I just Googled this. The oldest musical instrument in the world is 60,000 years old. It's the Neanderthal flute, and is a bone flute. 60,000 years old.
My God.
Wow. Incredible.
Okay, now Salar bhai, you talk about your tabla and yourself. You're good.
Oh yeah.
And let's go back 60,000 years. So we get
Bone drum, bone drum.
Well, that's why the drums mostly made out of drums are probably older, but they were often made out of wood or hide, cowhide,
Yeah.
whatever.
Sure.
So they didn't survive like the bone flute. But anyway, yeah.
It's incredible. So, wow. Only 60,000 years.
I know that was way before the ice ages. I mean, it's really,
Yep.
the land bridges. It's like 50,000 years before agriculture. It's all right. So go, yeah. So let's jump into your.
Sure.
I mean, such an incredible story about your
Yeah.
how you were a young Afghan kid and connected with Zakir. We're
Hey, what are you talking about? I'm still young.
Yeah, you didn't have a beard.
And Afghani at the same time.
Right.
Yes, both.
And still Afghani.
Wow.
Yeah, before he starts, but we all musicians have learned from Zakir Bhai,
Right.
Yep.
It's not only that we have learned from our guru, but the classical scenario is like, there are some artists who can really inspire in different ways, So I have been inspired a lot when I started playing with him on stage. I've learned a lot of things. So I'm lucky to learn a lot of things from Hariji on stage, off stage, how to keep yourself calm. With Zakir Bhai, presentation, how it should be, what should be the thought process, how to connect with the audience. And see, there's always a learning scope in your career, So thanks. Sorry. Salar Bhai, carry on.
No. Of course. I for me, I get so much joy actually being having attended years and years of performances and concerts and tours of my Guruji, Zakir Ji, and Rakesh Bhai. I mean, I would say at least the last 15 years, and then especially the double Grammy wins with Pashto, and then um, best contemporary album, right? For As We Speak
Hmm.
was just something that like we're all as tabla players, but also as fans of both of them, hearing them live. Um, it's something very special. I mean, thanks, David. I appreciate you starting from my bio data from 7 years old, but I should point that out also that for me, a lot of my learning has come by listening to the interaction of my guru and Rakesh Bhai. So a lot of studying has been done and a lot of learning, and it's just what a beautiful family to belong to.
Yeah. Well, one thing that both Zakir Ji and Hari Ji have in common is they both brought to the world like such beautiful tone,
Right.
and unparalleled still, with everybody still trying to copy. No one has, So I mean, I don't know. Did Zakir ever give you a particular? Did he discuss tone itself with you? Is that something he would?
As in tabla tone,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, two things for me, because imagine in the 80s, being a 7-year-old growing up in Berkeley, California, the only access we had to uh, Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia and was the recordings, were the cassette tapes and the CDs. So what he told my father, this is Zakir Ji telling my father, he said, for Salar, make sure you purchase every cassette tape and CD that's coming out to the market, and have him do riyaz to those recordings. So basically, I would do a lot of my practice for imaginary playing in concert to many recordings of
Hmm.
Pandit Ji and Zakir Ji, and then of course making music, the ECM record that came out, and that was part of my routine, was to envision and imagine that, okay, I would be, if I was in this situation, what would I do? Because we didn't have access at that time to everybody. So that was one part of the training that he had us doing outside of our own kaidas, relas, chakras, this and that. but tone was a very important thing with Zakir Ji, and that was something that he, obviously stressed on, excuse me, on many of us, and in accompaniment, your tone is so important, because if you're sitting with someone who's playing a bansuri flute, there's a moment where they take a breath. There's a highs and lows in a performance. There's dynamics in a performance. So you have to know, as a tabla player, like, okay, where am I supporting? Where am I controlling myself? Where am I trying to add an embellishment and not get in the way of what an idea or a thought process that's happening? So that's like something that I've watched Zakir Ji interact with Rakesh Bhai or Pandit Hariprasad, where each avartan is like he's in it and he's in that moment and he's so invested. So that's another a layer of our riyaz happened by the recordings and then attending the concerts and watching what the interplay is. Because it's not just like, okay, well, this is the tal, and okay, I'll just sit back and kind of, look out into the sky and think about this cricket game that I need to watch tomorrow or something. No, you have to be fully invested in what's happening, because what's incredible about Rakesh Bhai is that there's always a lot of information that's coming at you, so you have to be ready to catch the ball. Otherwise, you're in deep trouble.
Tone, also the accompaniment, the flute needs a different kind of accompaniment, sitar,
Right.
different sarod, santur. So
Mhm.
because everybody have their own texture, temperament, and the mood of the instrument to catch the mood, and then what is required. That's why when Zakir Bhai used to play, so their performance used to be always different. No wonder they are not they have played with other tabla players. But what was a special that the understanding of the maestro Zakir Bhai, that what is needed, I always say that this is like cooking food, everything in proportion. Just because you
Mhm.
like too much of salt, you cannot add it because everybody's having at the same time. So it have to be served, it have to be catered like in such a way that what is required at that moment. So that's why his company is also is called Movement Records, So
Mhm.
what he has captured the best is called the movement, and it will never come back again. So means
Mhm.
100% into it, focus what the artist is doing. That's why every concert is like a unique. That's why we
Mhm.
tell people to come for the live concert, because that is only left where the AI has not captured it.
Mm.
Right.
We all musicians, we all young ones, we practice so much, we work hard that we don't go wrong or don't do any mistake on stage. Because live
Mhm.
performance is live performance. On recordings, you never know what post-production has been done, some pitch correction has been done, or the speed has been double, and wow, what his guys playing. But on stage, you are what you are. What you have done can be seen easily, transparency.
Yeah, and we should mention you gentlemen have a show coming up.
Hmm.
It's not right in front of me. The date, May 15th. Is that right? Or
May 13th, Adler Hall, New York Society for Ethical Culture.
nice.
8 p.m. Oh
Okay,
yeah. So we're
amazing.
there at Adler.
Um, yeah, we'll include the details along with the podcast and posts.
Cool.
One. I actually had the honor of interviewing both of your gurus, and
Hmm.
I Harji brought up his guru, Annapurna Devi, which I think is one of the most fascinating figures in the history of this music. And she didn't leave much in the way of recording, so we only really know about her genius from him. His recordings and other of her outstanding students. So I'm just curious if you can share anything that Harji might have talked about that he had learned from her, or any stories he shared.
Uh, sorry, stories about?
Oh, Annapurna Devi. What if
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Definitely. I have been I also has been there.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And well, her it was a different scenario altogether. On the board on the door, it was written, "Please ring 3 bells. If nobody opens the door, please go away." That's were her terms and condition, and very moody. And but in Bombay, when Babuji came, I called Hariji Babuji. When he came, he learned under her, and that the different kind of polish on the music,
Mm.
So, but the scenario was different because very authentic classical music teaching and what she used to do it, but she hasn't never seen the world, what is happening outside the house for like 40 years. She never went out.
Wow.
But the scenario was changed. The normal concert at that time was minimum 3 to 5 hours, which came back to 60 minutes, 90 minutes maximum for one artist because the life is running nowadays. And then these artists, they discover something that, yeah, definitely the what I also believe and Zakir Bhai used to believe, uh, quantity doesn't matter, quality matters. So how to concentrate your 5 hours music and give it in 90 minutes? That's why, it's been designed that way. The best of your practice, it comes out because you don't have much time. And that became the scenario of classical music.
And did you ever, when you were at her house, did she play? Did she teach?
I never heard her, but I went to the means just to take lessons,
Mhm.
and she sitting there. I play something. Okay, I played something and say, no, 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 you sound too playful and too romantic. If you want to learn from me, you have to start from ABCD, from scratch again.
Oh,
So it will be a new package
wow.
altogether. Just forget what you have done.
If I remember the legend correctly,
Hmm.
Hariji, in order she wouldn't refuse to teach him, and he proved because he was already a successful
Right.
Bollywood player,
Hmm. Hmm.
and the way he won her over to show his devotion was to actually switch from playing right-handed to left-handed, right?
Yeah, that's the story. Yeah, I've also heard it. And yeah, he did that. That I will change my position so the musicality also changes because the fingers is like the fingers which used to play the right baya came on tabla. So means you have to start
Right.
from the scratch. But at that time, his practice was so much of minimum of 8 hours and maximum of 16 hours that he could do that. For us, sorry,
Wow.
no.
It was a different time.
Yeah, when I grew up, I thought I also followed him and I also started playing left. I thought he's the master. He's right always, but he was left.
Mm,
But I think also it also helped because the tabla player is always on your right side. For the eye contact is very easy. You can see him while playing.
mm,
If I play this side, my eye is this side. To see him, I have to turn around, losing the position of the mic or something. So technically, also it works.
mm.
Mm.
I don't know how it all sat together in one compartment and it worked out. But I went to her 2, 3 times. I met her, took her blessings and everything, but never learned one-to-one sitting.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's amazing. I mean, it's such a legendary,
Hmm.
and for so many musicians, she just represents like
Yeah,
purity, right?
yeah, that's for sure. The pure music without any extra thought process of what has been there, what she has learned. That's the way the music should be. But again, I said, because she has not seen the world, what is happening aside, the performance level has changed, the time period has been compressed. So that, because, see, what I believe, Salar Bhai should also agree that we are a musician for sure. But at the same time, when we are on stage, we are a performer also. It's your duty to make everybody comfortable and make everybody happy with your music. So
Mm-hmm.
some people will say, "Oh, you want to add some commercial aspect." What I don't understand what is the difference between commercial and performance. Commercial is not I'm not wearing some brand and making that popular, but musically, as a performer, it's your duty to make everybody's whatever they have kept in mind that I want to listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how do you balance that? It's like because I know when I spoke with Hariji, he said, you
mhm.
don't he said you play for yourself first.
The first, that what we all do. The first raga, maybe in time doesn't matter, the duration. First, just to calm down, just to bring your senses, your feelings, everything, the attachment of your instrument with yourself. So the first piece we can do whatever we want, and then at least we should try to play what they like us to play. They
Mm.
want to listen to us. Because I've seen a lot of people when I used to accompany Babaji, Hariji on stage, and when I was there in the audiences, the people used to come. Some people, 40 minutes late or an hour late. We want to just listen to that light Pahadi dhun with the small flute, and that's my choice. So you cannot say no to them.
Mm.
They're coming from long kilometers driving in train, bus, whatnot. So they have in mind that I would like to listen to this piece. You
Mm.
cannot say no. Today I'm not feeling like playing.
So what changed? What changed in you as a musician after having several years of sharing the
Hmm.
stage with Bela, Fleck, and Zakir Hussain and
Hmm.
Edgar Meyer? Like, can you?
Understand your audience. Be connected to them. The previous maestros used to just come, play whatever they want to play. They were not wrong, I'll say, because they were masters, because they have prepared something in mind and sure, definitely they will give their best 150% on stage. But it's okay. Well, one piece you can play according to what you would wish to play, and but the second, third, fourth, whatever, you can feel the body language, which kind of audience you have. And if you see like a lot of young crowd is there, so depend on the choice of ragas, the talas, what you're taking. Is it compatible to everybody? Basically, they should enjoy something. If I take very heavy ragas or something, I don't want my audience to go in depression because if you go,
Right.
if you see the signs, the seven notes, the seven
Mm-hmm.
chakras, if you hit the right note, it works on your system. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen people when in Europe, very intimacy audience, suddenly they're sitting like a yoga posture and suddenly, you know, they're crying.
Mm-hmm.
So the music is working at that moment. I don't know how, what time, mind frame they are sitting to listen to you. But music, and nowadays there's a classical music therapy, which the note is being used for your treatment, and it's working. So if you go too deep, see everything is seven notes, seven chakras, seven layers of sky, seven seas, 7 days of the week. So there is something doing with the seven number figure. So it works on the system. So what I mean to say, if you can make out if I'm playing playing in India might be different because I know the 60%, 70% people know what I'm doing, which raga is taking, how to accept that heavy ragas and heavy notes.
Yeah. Well, Zakir was kind of the master of winning over every audience he played for, right? I mean,
Yeah,
there's almost no
I wouldn't
equal.
even say kinda. I would say definitely.
yeah.
Um, he was clutch. I wanted to add a little bit to what Rakesh Bhai just said about the effect of how and the state of mind that even just like the alap section, the section without rhythm, for me personally, when I'm sitting there and listening to him, it literally just completely grounds you. You're at that moment, you kind of forget about everything else in life and you're just attached to this frequency. And this is just personally how I honestly feel there during this alap section. It's just like one of the most blissful moments that is so calming and relaxing that
Yeah.
I'm in the best seat of the house when I'm sitting next to him. So
So
it's just
just
incredible.
just imagine if the calmness it can really bring to a tabla player whose role is to just think and think about ki, what is the next now when my role will come. So if that person which is already engaged so much can be calm, just imagine the audience. And if you see scientifically, any person having a blood pressure or something, that will also go down. So somewhere it's working. The music is working, the playing is working.
Yeah. I mean, and rhythmically too, it's there's a concept called entrainment, that
Hmm.
rhythms that are close will align. So if your heartbeat is a certain rate and you hear a rhythm that's a little faster, your heartbeat will get a little faster to match.
Right.
And that's kind of the amazing arc that your
Mm.
concerts that you two bring is like it will start in that center pace place where maybe time changes its meaning and slows down, and then by the end when Solar's putting his foot on the ignition,
Mm.
on the accelerator,
But
suddenly now it's
people
fireworks.
started getting tickets,
Yeah.
if they're listening in the speed up,
Speeding
speeding
tickets,
tickets.
yeah.
So that's the value when Salar Bhai mentioned the alap, because our classical music is based on tonic. It's not based on chords and harmony. So there's not always filling up. So you can listen to just one tone at a time when we're doing alap, just the drone and the flute.
Mm.
But I think one of the things that I'd like to mention about both Rakesh Bhai and I is that although we've been blessed with our gurus and the music they've created for the world and this planet and this universe, they've also allowed us to experiment with different styles of music. And as you know, um, with our classical repertoire and also with various elements of modern day sounds, it could be drum and bass, it could be electronica. We love to invite younger audiences and new audiences to get to know bansuri and tabla for the first time, because there's still people who haven't heard this music. So we thought it'd be nice to create some music that would appeal to
Gen Z,
various what was that?
Gen Z
Sorry.
audience.
Gen Z, yeah, exactly, Gen Z audience. And so that's there. And of course, I've been influenced from the movements of Zakir Ji and tabla beat science and what he did with Sultan Khan Saab, and then of course Karsh Bhai and Talvin Bhai and all that's there. And there's some incredible records that Rakesh Bhai has also done with Talvin Bhai. And so we're like, okay, it's 2026. Why don't we mix things up again? And so we've created, I want to say, about 5, 6 tracks are in the can, and the record's going to include probably another 3 or 4. Rakesh Bhai and I are getting together before we make it out to New York to polish a few things. But it's an exciting time because we love to do both. I absolutely love spending my time making classical music and creating classical music, but I also like to see where we can head other directions and other lanes and uncharted waters that we can enter. We're living in a time where I think that the globe needs a little bit more peace and healing. And so if you're coming out to the Adler Hall, that's a moment that you can get away from the barrage of things that are happening on the planet at the moment. And so come out and enjoy some peaceful time and
Yep.
disconnect from all the noise.
All
I
right.
always say that add little bit music in your life, because
Yeah.
without music, life is incomplete.
Well, nothing to add to that. Thank you for your
Okay.
time, and
Thank
great to
you.
connect with you.
Awesome.
Yes, great
Sure.
to see you again, Solar.
Brought to you by Ghost Energy.
And the host and the David host. Okay, David. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Till next
Thank you
time.
guys so
Okay.
much.
Talk to you,
Okay.
sir, later. Okay.
All right. Thank
Yes,
you.
Rakesh, right. Take care. Bye, David. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Peace.